Charles Dickens. Marley was dead, to begin with. There can be no doubt whatsoever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it. And Scrooge's name was good on anything he chose to put his hand to. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come of the tale I am about to relate. Did Scrooge know he was dead? Oh, of course he did. Scrooge and Marley were partners for I don't know how many years. There it stood, years afterwards, above the warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley. Scrooge had never painted out old Marley's name. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone. Was Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. And once upon a time, of all the good days of the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house, a grim, cheerless place, if ever there was one. The door to Scrooge's house was open, that he might keep an eye on his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who in a cold, dismal cell beyond worked at his ledgers.
Bob Cratchit! Bob Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
Go to the door and stop that infernal caterwauling and chase those howling beggars away from my business.
But, Mr. Scrooge said they're just keeping Christmas.
Keeping Christmas? Well, then let them keep it far away from me. Now go and put an end to that racket.
Yes, sir.
Comfort and joy, oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Merry Christmas, sir. Merry Christmas.
Mr. Cratchit, shut that door. I'm not paying to heat the whole block.
You're not even paying to heat the whole office.
What did you say, Cratchit?
Nothing, sir. Nothing.
Scrooge's young nephew, Fred, came bounding through the door, full of the holiday spirit.
A Merry Christmas, Bob.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Fred.
A Merry Christmas and save you, Uncle.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Uncle. Now, I'm sure you don't mean that.
I mean just that. Exactly that. Merry Christmas. What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Well, what reason do you have to be dismal about Christmas, Uncle? You're rich enough. Now, Uncle, don't be cross.
Well, what else can I be when I live in such a world of fools? What's Christmas to you but a time of paying bills without money? Merry Christmas. A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Uncle!
Now, nephew, keep Christmas in your way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it, Uncle.
Well, then let me leave it alone, then. What do you want? A Christmas gift, I have no doubt.
I came only to wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
A Merry Christmas, much good Merry Christmas to you. Much good has it done you.
There are many things for which I derive good, by which I have not profited materially. I dare say, Uncle, Christmas among the rest. But I have always thought of Christmas time as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
God bless Christmas. Hooray!
Let me hear another sound out of you there, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. As to you, nephew, I wonder you don't go into Parliament, you talk enough nonsense.
Oh, don't be angry, Uncle. I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
Oh, good afternoon.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, I tried. A Merry Christmas to you, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year, too.
Bah! Humbug!
And a Merry Christmas to you, Bob.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Fritz.
And the missus, and to Tiny Tim.
Same to you, sir. Good day, sir.
Good day, Bob.
Nonsense, twaddle. Flummery. Talking of Christmas and not 2 sixpences to jingle together in his trouser pocket.
Bob Cratchit carefully went to the coal shovel and put a small bit in the heat fire.
Hey, you there, Bob Cratchit, come here. What are you doing there?
I'm only putting a bit more coal on the fire, sir. Seeing as it's so cold in here.
You put that coal back in the scuttle. A fire, indeed. I can tell you, if you use coal at that rate, you and I will soon be parting company, Bob Cratchit. You understand that? There's many a young fella like like to have your situation, you know.
I'm sorry, sir. My fingers are getting a little stiff with the cold and all.
Oh, put on your mittens. Oh, there's someone at the door. Hello, this isn't a counting house, it's Victoria Station. Go on, see who it is.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
This is the firm of Mr. Scrooge.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Oh, excellent. I should like to speak to the head of the firm, if I may.
Oh, very good, sir. Mr. Scrooge.
What is it?
A gentleman here to see you, Mr. Scrooge.
Eh?
Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley's been dead these 7 years tonight. I am Scrooge.
Oh, well now, Mr. Scrooge, at this season of the year, it is only fitting that we who are more fortunate should raise a fund to buy some meat and drink for the poor and some means of warmth. You may not believe it, sir, but many thousands are now in want of common necessities. And hundreds of thousands are in want of the simplest comforts.
Are there no prisons?
Well, yes, there are prisons.
And the workhouses, are they still in operation, I trust?
Why, yes, I wish I could say they were not.
The treadmill and the poor law are in full vigor then?
Both very busy, sir.
Ah, I'm glad to hear that. I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course.
No, sir. All these institutions you mention are flourishing. But nevertheless, it's true that some additional provision for the poor and destitute must be made. Well, a few of us local businessmen are endeavoring to raise such a fund, you see. And so, what shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
Oh, I see. You wish to remain anonymous.
I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry Christmas myself, and I can't afford to help a lot of idle people merry. I have to support the establishments that take care of the poor. They cost enough. Let those who are badly off go there.
Oh, many can't go there, sir, and many would rather die.
Then let them do it and decrease the surplus population.
My dear sir, certainly you can't mean that.
Besides, it's not my business. It's enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, sir.
I quite understand, Mr. Scrooge. Good afternoon.
Cratchit, show this gentleman out.
Yes, sir. This way, sir, please.
Thank you much.
I couldn't help it over here. I should like to contribute tuppence.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to you, sir. Merry Christmas. I wish I could say your employer was as generous a fellow as you.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
Well, it's too late to get any business done with all those foolish interruptions. You may as well close up the place now.
Yes, sir. It is getting a little dark. It's hard to see the figures.
I suppose you'll want the entire day off tomorrow, eh?
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair either. But I suppose you can't do anything about it, eh? If I was to take half a crown of your wages, you'd think yourself very ill-used, I'll be bound.
Well, sir,
Yes, but you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
Once a year. Once a year indeed. A fine excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose there's no good talking if you must have the whole day. See that you're here all the earlier the next morning, you understand?
Oh, I will, sir. I will. I will indeed. Good night, sir. And Merry Christmas.
Cratchit?
Yes, sir.
The office was closed in a twinkling, and Bob Cratchit headed home to a warm dinner with his loving family. Scrooge, on the other hand, took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern. Then, having read all the newspapers and balanced his checkbook, he headed home to his dark and dismal house. Darkness is cheap. Scrooge liked it. The yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, had to grope with his hands through the fog and frost to find the door. Now, it is a fact that there is nothing at all particularly strange about the knocker on the door, except for the fact that it is very large. It is also a fact that Scrooge had seen it night and morning during the whole residence in the house. Let it also be kept in mind that Scrooge had not spent one iota of a thought on his 7-year dead partner until his mention that very morning. Then let any man explain to me, if he can, how it happened that Scrooge, having his key in the lock, saw in the knocker, without it undergoing any intermediate process of change, not a knocker, but the face of
Jacob Marley.
As Scrooge stared fixedly at the phenomenon, it was a knocker again. Scrooge hurried to the door and walked through his rooms to see that all was right. Sitting room, living room, dining room, all as they should be. Up the stairs and into the bedroom. Nobody under the table. Nobody under the sofa. Nobody under the bed. Nobody in the closet. He closed the door and locked himself in. Double locked himself in. Took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown and slippers and his nightgown, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel.
Marley. I could have sworn I sold, humbug. Marley's been dead these 7 years. Humbug, all humbug. What I need is a good night's.
A small bell began to ring. And then another. And another. And another. Until every bell in the house joined in one giant chorus of tintinnabulation. Then, as quickly as it all began, it stopped. And all was quiet. Deathly quiet. But another noise began to appear. A deep clanking from the cellar of the house.
What's that? Someone in the wine cellar. But the door's locked and double locked. Something is coming. Something is coming closer. Outside my door. No. Bah! I won't believe it. It's humbug still.
Ebenezer Scrooge!
Oh, what do you want with me?
Oh, I want much of you. Ebenezer,
Who are you?
ask me who I was.
Oh, you're very particular for a ghost. All right then, who were you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley? But you're dead. You died 7 years ago.
7 years ago this very night.
Yes, I suppose it was busted.
What's wrong, Ebenezer? Don't you believe in me?
I do not.
Why? Why do you doubt your senses, Ebenezer?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You can't be a ghost. You may be an undigested bit of beef, or a blot of mustard, or a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There is more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are. It's humbug! Humbug! I do believe in you. You are a ghost. Jacob, but why do you walk the earth, Jacob? And why do you come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk among his fellow men and travel far and wide to witness what it cannot share, but what it might have shared on earth, and turn to happiness.
But tell me, Jacob, what is that chain you wear about you?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, and yard by yard, by my own free will. Do you not recognize its pattern, Ebenezer?
Cash boxes, keys and padlocks, ledgers and purses.
Yours was as heavy and as long as this 7 years ago, and you have labored on it since, Ebenezer. Yours is a ponderous chain.
Oh, Jacob, speak comfort to me, Jacob.
Comfort? I have none to give. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger. Weary journeys are before me.
You travel fast?
Oh, very fast. With the speed of the wind.
Oh, 7 years dead and traveling all the time.
7 years. Ebenezer, 7 years of remorse. Ebenezer, do you know that no space of regret can make amends for one's life opportunities misused?
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business. Mankind was my business. Charity and mercy, benevolence, they were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business.
Jacob, don't take on so, Jacob.
Listen to me, Ebenezer.
I'll listen to you, Jacob. Go on, Jacob. No speak, but please get to the point.
Ebenezer, I am here to warn you that you yet have a chance and hope of escaping my fate. Do you hear that, Ebenezer?
Yes, Jacob. Yes, you were always a good friend to me, Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. But go on. How shall I escape? Oh, I'm afraid, Jacob.
Oh, you will be haunted.
Haunted? Haunted, you say?
Haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the only chance of hope that you spoke of, Jacob?
Yes.
Well, then I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Ebenezer, look to your own sake and remember what has passed between us. Remember, Ebenezer, the clock strikes 1. Remember!
But Jacob Marley! No. Oh, sleep. That's what I need. Good night's sleep.
He was lying on his bed, dressed in his nightgown and cap. Suddenly, the curtains of the bed were drawn aside, and Scrooge found himself face to face with an unearthly visitor. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child as like an old man. Its hair, which hung about its neck and down its back, was white, as if with age. And yet the face had not a wrinkle in it, and the tenderest bloom was on its skin.
Ebenezer Scrooge?
Who's that?
Ebenezer Scrooge, I've come for you.
You? Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold me?
I am that spirit.
What are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
But what do you want of me? What brings you here to haunt me?
Your welfare, Ebenezer Scrooge. Rise, walk with me.
Oh, no. Not out the window. Why, I can't do that. I'll fall down. I'm not a spirit. I'm mortal and I'll fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand upon your heart, and you shall be upheld more than this. Come, follow me.
Where are we? What has become of the city? And there's snow upon the ground. Where are we?
These are shadows of things that have been. You recognize this countryside?
Oh, I know every inch of it. Every rock, every tree.
And that bleak building over there.
Ah, that building, huh? I was a boy there. Yes, I went to school in that horrible place.
Ah, do you recognize that path?
I could walk it blindfold.
Strange that you should have forgotten it in so many years. Come, let's go closer. Look through the window and into the cold, barren room. What do you see, Ebenezer Scrooge?
I see a boy.
A solitary child, neglected by his family, alone.
Yes, I see. I know that boy. It is I. Oh, I was so lonely, poor boy.
Why, Scrooge, don't let this trembling. And what is that on your cheek?
Oh, it's nothing at all. I wish.
What's
Oh,
the
it's-
matter?
Well, nothing. The waifs came to my door singing Christmas carols last night, and there was a boy like that among them, a poor, pale, thin little boy in ragged coat. And I should like to have given him something, that's all.
Is that all? Come, Ebenezer Scrooge, let us see another Christmas.
One of his Christmas parties.
Not you, my love.
Oh, listen to him. And there's my boyhood friend, Dick Wilkins. Oh, dear friend, dear. Yes, and look. Oh, look. There's Mrs. Fezziwig herself, looking younger than any of them. And the tables are loaded with roasts and cider and mince pie and beer. Oh, what a jolly time we used to have.
And that carefree young man with the light heart and the gay smile, do you recognize him?
Yes. Merciful heavens, how happy I was then.
A small matter, old Fezziwig, to make those silly folks so full of joy.
Small matter, small indeed.
Isn't it? He has spent only a few pounds of your mortal money. Is that so much that he deserves praise?
It's not that. It's not that, spirit. Old Fezziwig has the power to make us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or heavy. His power lies in words and looks and in things so tiny that it's impossible to count them up. The happiness he gives is quite as great as it cost.
What is the matter?
Oh, nothing at all, Spirit.
Oh, something, I think.
No.
Speak.
Oh, well, only it's just I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk, Bob Cratchit, that's all.
Well, my time grows short, and we have yet another journey to make.
Where now?
Come. This is our last visit to the past, Ebenezer. A few years later, you have bought Mr. Fezziwig out of business. Your financial career has grown and prospered. And here you stand, here in that very room, with a fair young girl by your side. Do you recognize yourself, Ebenezer?
No, spare me this.
You're older now, a man in the prime of his life. Your face has begun to wear the signs of care and avarice. Your eyes are greedy, the eager, restless eyes of a miser.
No, please.
She knows it too, that girl by your side. Look, there are tears in her eyes.
Oh, Ebenezer, it matters little to you. I know very little. I know that.
Belle, have I changed towards you?
When we were engaged, we were both poor.
But was it better then? Better to be poor?
Better at least to be happy. You've changed. You were another man.
I was a boy. You blame me because I've grown wiser. Have I ever tried to break off our engagement?
In words, no, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in everything that made my love of any value in your sight. So I release you from your promise.
Oh, Belle.
Oh, at first it may cause you pain to lose me, a very brief pain, but soon it will be dim, like a half-remembered dream, an unprofitable dream, and you will be glad to be awake from such a dream. May you be happy in the life you have chosen, Ebenezer, but I fear you shall be all alone in this world.
That's enough! Show me no more! Take me home!
These were shadows of the things that have been. That they are what they are. Do not blame me.
No more! Spirit, I cannot take it anymore. Leave me, hunt me no more. Take me back!
On the stroke of 2, Scrooge awakened suddenly and sat bolt upright in his own bed. He remembered the words of Marley's ghost and wondered from which direction the next spirit would approach. At that moment, nothing between a baby and a rhinoceros would have surprised him. Now, being prepared for almost anything, he was not by any means prepared for nothing. Consequently, when no shape appeared, he was taken with a violent fit of trembling. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, quarter of an hour yet, and still nothing came. Then, as he sat in bed, he became aware gradually of a great blaze of ruddy light which seemed to shine upon him from the adjoining room. He got up softly and shuffled in his slippers to the door. It was his own sitting room, no doubt about that, but it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and the ceiling were hung with living green, so much so that it looked like a perfect grove, and from every part of which bright gleaming berries glistened as such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney as had never been seen in Scrooge's time or for many a winter before that. Heaped upon the floor, to form a kind of throne were turkeys, geese, game, poultry, great joints of meat, suckling pigs, long wreaths of sausages, mince pie, crab cakes, plum puddings, huge loaves of bread pudding like you get in the best Irish restaurants. And seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam. In easy state upon that couch, there was a jolly giant, glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch in the shape not unlike Plenty's horn. He held it up, high up, to shed its light on Scrooge as he came peeping around the door. Come in, Ebenezer, come in and know me better, man.
Who are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You've never seen the like of me before.
You're different from the other spirits. You're tall, almost a giant. And that great torch you carry.
Yes, it pours light onto the homes of the rich and the poor alike.
Spirit, take me where you will. Last time I went against my will and learned a lesson which is working now. If you have anything to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe, Ebenezer Scrooge. Touch my robe.
Where have you brought me, Spirit?
A humble house on a humble street.
It is humble indeed.
Yet there is happiness here.
Who are these people? Who is that woman? And the children?
These are the family of your clerk, Bob Cratchit. His wife, dressed in a twice-turned gown, but brave in ribbons, laying the table for Christmas dinner. And there assisting her is her daughter, Belinda. Listen, Scrooge.
It's all so lovely, Mother.
Why, bless you, dear heart, you're alive. Belinda, my dear, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Mother. It's so late. Where's Father?
He's been to the church with Tiny Tim. He'll be along shortly.
How is Tiny Tim, Mother? Any better at all?
Sometimes I think he is. And sometimes I think, oh dear God, if anything should happen to Tiny Tim.
Mother, you mustn't even think of such a thing. Here they come! Hi!
Oh, there's Tiny Tim.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, my dears.
Merry Christmas, Father and Tim.
Oh, Tim, you darling. Oh, Bob, I'm so glad you're home.
And we're so glad to be home, my love.
And how did little Tim behave in church, Bob?
Oh, as good as gold, and better. On the way home, he told me he hoped the people at church all saw him, because it might be pleasant for them to remember on Christmas who it was made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Oh, bless you, my dearest. All right, we're all ready. Come, take your places now. And Bob, you wait your turn. There's plenty. Stuffing and dressing and plum pudding for all of you. Belinda, would you please take care of Tiny Tim?
Yes, Mother.
You see that he eats plenty. Okay, he must get tall and well. Now, sit down, everyone.
Ah, now, my dears, shall we say grace?
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the chimney corner and a tiny crutch without an owner.
Oh, no. No, kind Spirit. Say he'll be spared. Say he'll live.
If he be like to die, he had better do it and reduce the surplus population.
Oh, I see.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, Ebenezer, the child will die.
Amen.
Amen.
And now, my dears, with such a dinner, a toast. A Merry Christmas toast to us all. And God bless us.
Amen.
God blesses everyone.
And now, to Mr. Scrooge. No, I give you a toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast indeed. Who pays you all 15 shillings a week? And I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast on, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
Oh, my dear, the children. Christmas Day.
Well, it should be Christmas Day. I'm sure on which one drinks to the health of such an odious, stingy and unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Bob. Nobody knows it better than you,
My dear,
poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink to his health for your sake and for the day's. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
God bless them too, Mother. And everyone.
Yes, Tim, yes.
There was nothing remarkable about this. They were not a handsome family. Very poorly lit in their home. You could barely read the paper right in front of your face. But they were not well dressed. Their shoes were far from weatherproof. Their clothes were scanty and had known very likely the insides of the pawnbrokers. But they were happy, grateful, and pleased with one another, and content with the time. And when at last they faded, Scrooge had his eye on them to the last, especially on small, tiny Tim. Many calls Scrooge made that night with the ghost of Christmas presents. Down among the miners they went, who labored in the bowels of the earth, and far out to sea the sailors at their watch, dark ghostly figures in their several stations. Much they saw and far they went, and many places they visited, but always with a happy end. The spirits stood beside sick beds, and they were cheerful. On foreign lands, and they were close at home. By poverty, and it was rich. In almhouses, hospitals, and jails, where vain man in his little brief authority had not made fast the door and barred the spirit out, the spirit left his blessing. It was a long night, if it was only one night. And it was strange, too, that while Scrooge remained unaltered in his outward form, the ghost grew clearly older.
Spirit, you have grown older.
My life upon this globe is very brief, Ebenezer. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight, at midnight. Hark, the hour has come.
Oh, no! No, not yet! Not yet! There are still more things I wish to learn.
These you will learn from another spirit, Ebenezer. From another spirit. Ebenezer. Scrooge looked about him for the ghost, and it had vanished. He found himself once more in bed with his dressing gown and his nightcap on his head. And then he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting his eyes, beheld the third spirit. A solemn phantom, shrouded in black, draped and hooded, coming towards him, slowly and silently in the mist, along the brow.
I know you. You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You show me the shadows of things that have not happened. What will happen in the time before us? Answer me, spirit. Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I've seen. Yet I know your purpose is to do me good. And as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, lead on, lead on. The night is fading fast and time is precious. Spirit, why have you brought me here again? Here to Bob Cratchit's home. Why is it so quiet?
Oh, Mother.
So very quiet here.
Mother, please, don't cry.
No, my son, my little son, Tiny Tim, I loved him so.
Oh, Mother dear, you mustn't. It's almost time for Father to be home. Don't let him see you crying.
Yes, Belinda.
He's late tonight.
He walks slower than he used to. And yet, I've known him to walk very fast indeed with Tiny Tim on his shoulder.
So have I, Mother.
But he was so light to carry. And his father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble. Oh, Bob!
Good evening, my dear.
You're late, Bob.
Yes, I'm sorry, my dear. I went to the churchyard today, and I could have wished you could have gone with me. I wish it would have done your heart good to see how sweet and green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him. Yes, I promised Tiny Tim we'd walk there on a Sunday.
It's God's will, Bob.
I'm trying to understand it, my dear. My son, my little son, Tiny Tim. And I loved him so.
Oh, that's cruel. Spirit, can't you give me one ray of hope that I may change all that? That Tiny Tim may live. Where are you taking me now, Spirit? Here? To the stock exchange, Spirit? I come here every day, and I stand right over there. Why, I'm not in my usual place. What are they saying?
Well, I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know anybody to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
Well, I don't mind going if a lunch is provided.
Come to think of it, I'll bet I was his best friend.
What?
Ha! We used to nod to each other when we met in the street.
Spirit, help me! Who is this man that died? Is there no one to mourn the poor creature? No one to follow him to his grave? Perhaps they'll give him a nice grave, at least, like poor Tiny Tim, perhaps. Spirit, where are we now? Merciful heaven, a churchyard, overrun by grass and weeds, choked with too much burying. Desolate, lonely, crumbling gravestone, Spirit. Before I draw near to that gravestone, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be? Or are they shadows of things that may be only? Will you not speak to me, Spirit? What is that grave at which you point? Now I see it. There is writing on that stone. The name on the gravestone is... Oh no! Ebenezer's Scrooge! No, Spirit, no! Hear me! I'm not the man I was! Why show me this if I'm past all hope? Tell me that I can change these dreadful shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I'll have a Christmas in my heart. I'll try to keep it all the year. I'll live in the past and the present and the future, and I'll not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, tell me, Spirit, oh, go on, tell me that I can sponge away the writing on that stone. Spirit, I beg you, I beg of you, Spirit, I promise, on my knees, what's this? It's my own window, my own drapes. Oh, I'm home in my own bed, in my own room, and the sun is shining. today?
What's that, sir?
What day is it, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
Ah, Christmas Day! Then I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. All in one night. Heaven be praised.
How's that, sir?
Listen, my lad. You know where the poulterer's is in the next street?
I should say I do.
Ah, an intelligent boy. A remarkable boy. Tell me, do you know if they sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
Oh, the one as big as me?
Oh, what a delightful boy. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Yes, my buck.
It's hanging there now, sir.
Well, that's wonderful. Go down, will you, and tell him to send to Bob Cratchit and his family on Broad Street. And mind you, they're not to know who paid for it. Go along, hurry, my lad. Oh, here, wait a minute. Here's £50 for your trouble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, and a Merry Christmas, sir.
And a Merry Christmas to you, my boy. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. I'm as giddy as a drunken man. Oh, Merry Christmas! A Merry Christmas to everyone! A Happy New Year to all the world!
Next morning, Scrooge headed off to his offices extra early. And on the way, he met a gentleman he recognized.
My dear sir, how do you do?
Yes, how do you do, sir? Good morning, sir.
Well, sir, aren't you the gentleman who came to my office in regard to that charity?
Yes, sir, I am the man.
A Merry Christmas to you.
Well, thank you. Merry Christmas to you too, sir.
Allow me to ask your pardon, sir, and will you have the goodness to accept, well, I prefer to whisper this.
My word! My good sir, are you quite sure?
Oh, no, don't say anything, please. Come and see me, will you? Will you come and see me?
Yes, I will do that, sir. I'll do that indeed. And a Merry Christmas to you, sir. Merry Christmas to you, sir.
I'm much obliged to you. Thank you 50 times. Bless you. Merry Christmas.
He rushed into his office, and he headed in extra early for a reason. If he could only be there first to catch Bob Cratchit coming in late, it was the thing he'd set his heart for. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past. No Bob. Scrooge sat with his door wide open that he might see him come in. And at last, there he was. His hat was off before he opened the door, and his comforter too, and he was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen as if he were trying to overtake 9 o'clock.
Hello, you Cratchit.
Yes, sir?
Step this way, Cratchit, if you please. Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in at this time of day?
Why, I am very sorry, sir. I am behind my time.
Oh, you are. Yes, I think you are.
Oh, it's only once a year, sir. Mr. Scrooge, it should not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday.
I'll tell you what, my friend, I'll not stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, Bob Cratchit, I'm about to raise your salary.
Mr. Scrooge, are you quite yourself today, sir?
Oh, no. Thank heaven, I'm not quite myself. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, my good fellow. A merrier Christmas than I have given you in many a year. I shall raise your salary, and we'll see what we can do for Tiny Tim and the rest of your family, eh? We will discuss it this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of punch. Now, Bob, make up the fire, make it up, and just go and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. The Tiny Tim, who did not die. He was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as that old city ever knew, or any other good city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he had to laugh himself, and he little heeded them. His own heart laughed. That was quite enough for him. He had no further visits from the spirits, and it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed that knowledge. And may that truly be said of us, all of us. And, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.
Joy to the world, let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you